And back then, you had to go to Sonora Quest at 7 a.m. You had to go to the doctor, pay $225 to see him. Then you had to go to Red Mountain Compounding Pharmacy and pick it up. And it took like 10 days, you know? And so I kept going in there saying, Chris, man, we can streamline this. He's like, I know, one day. So I kept being persistent, you know. 3 years into it, I think I caught him on a bad day.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm ready. Let's do it.
Wow.
Before we get into this episode, I just had to jump on and say thank you so much for making our podcast one of the top 5 in all of Arizona. Super cool. And if you enjoy this podcast, please make sure you like and subscribe so you can stay up to date with all of our future episodes. And you can find us on all podcast platforms. Thanks for watching.
This is The Real Deal, where real estate meets real life. Whether you're a seasoned real estate expert, a first-time home buyer, or if you're simply passionate about hearing small business stories, this is the podcast for you. Join us as we dive deep into the world of real estate and beyond.
Well, welcome to episode 41 of The Real Deal, where real estate meets real life. I am your host, Janine Igliani, and my co-host today is Ryan Hatcher.
What's up,
And we have a really cool guest for you guys today. I'm super excited. Mr. Denver Lane, thank you for being with us.
Thanks for having me on.
I feel like it's a famous name. It seems like a famous name.
I've heard that before. It's easy to remember though.
Yeah.
Well, it's unique, right?
In new home sales, people always remember the name. So
Yeah.
it's helped.
That's cool. Yeah, you don't hear it. It's kind of like Janine Igliani. You don't get a lot of Janine
It's a
Igliani.
street name, Denver Lane.
It is.
That's true.
In my garage, I have a Denver Avenue sign.
I love it.
One of our neighbors gave us like 4 houses ago.
That's
She's
cool.
like, it's from Virginia, I think.
That's cool.
We need to get a lane though, Denver Lane.
I know. There's got to
You
be
know
one
there
out
is
there.
one.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know there is.
My daughter has one over by Castile. Ivy Lane.
Oh, I love
So
it.
let's go. Wait to find a lot over there.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I love that. Well, Denver, so thanks for being with us today. You had to make the long trek from around the corner to get over here. But before we jump in, I think you should introduce yourself to our guests and tell us just kind of about your background.
All right. So Denver Lane, born and raised in Mesa. And then every year we kind of move further and further south. So now we're in Queen Creek. I got into real estate in 2012, I think. And it was kind of thrown into new home sales. So my brother was a builder and I was living in Brazil at the time. So I came home and I kind of just fell into new home sales. And so I was the peon, the little assistant for the neighborhood on Higley and Ray called Higley Park. And so that's where I kind of got into it. And then I got a job at DR Horton because I needed health insurance and never thought I would love it. And I absolutely loved it there.
What did you love about it?
It was just fun. The team there was fun. I know you guys know Tyler Elliott.
Oh, yeah.
Alex. I mean, Scott. The whole group was just so fun to be around.
You were there with all of them?
Yeah.
Oh man.
So we were all, at one point, Scott wasn't there yet, but we were all in the same office in Magma Ranch. And it was a blast. It was just selling, you know? There wasn't like on new home sales with a private builder, there's there's pros and cons of both sides.
For sure.
But at a big builder, if you want to sell 20, you can sell 20. And you just get that momentum and it's exciting. And Tyler's popping my back and
Right? I love
fist
it.
bumping and throwing keys to each other. It was really fun.
That's fun.
So I loved it. And then 5 years into it, my brother and I partnered on a little first-time homebuyer community. And that was kind of if I don't try it, I'm always going to think about it type of thing. So we did it and I sold the homes. He built them.
Was that the one in Queen Creek? Or
It's right on the
like Santan Valley?
Santam, it's right on the border. It's on Combs and Gansel.
Yeah.
We're actually selling phase 2 right now.
What's it called?
Pecan Cove.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I had a client in there who was going to sell and take a job in Texas. And she remembered that you were her sales rep when she bought it. Yeah.
Really?
Super cool.
Was she like that gray kid? The kid with the gray beard. He's the one.
She spoke highly of you.
Oh, good. But yeah, that was kind of how we got into it. And then he had a lot going on at the time. So we did our own little sales team and did all the new home sales. We did resale. We did everything for a little bit. And then the last 3 years, I've kind of merged to a lot more property management. So I do enjoy it. I like the investment aspect. I like helping people through the tax breaks, all that stuff. And I do believe at the end of the day, it will outperform any 401k. Just owning a rental property. It's safe, you know. It's just the safest. I feel like I lost a bunch of Bitcoin. I got in a car crash, lost my wallet. Can't do that with real estate. You know? And so it's just safe and long-term, and I enjoy it.
Love that.
Nice.
So yeah, we still do a little bit of new homes, and we have 40 agents that hang their license with Balboa, and they're all better resale agents than me. So if I have a resale deal, I kind of go to them and say, do you want to do it with me or help me? And you know,
Awesome.
That's awesome. And then you're married.
yes,
Tell us really
happily.
quick.
Taylor is the one that saved me. So, gosh, I would probably be dead with liver poisoning if I didn't meet her, but she's the best. We have two beautiful little girls, Ivy and Isla. They're 8 and 6. Ivy is in volleyball. Isla's in hip hop.
I love it.
And so, yeah, we're lucky. We have
That's
a really
awesome.
cool dog too, Golden Doodle.
Oh yeah, they're the best.
Yeah.
I'm biased, but they're the best. Okay, so tell us. So you have this amazing life, you know, family, great real estate business going on, and then you went in a totally different direction.
So yeah, so before I served a mission. Before that, my dad was always the guy.
Was that in Brazil?
Yeah.
Okay.
Salvador.
Portuguese.
Yep. Loved it. Still want to go back. If it wasn't 13-hour flight, I'd be there every weekend.
Really?
But my dad was always on like the cutting edge of hormone therapy, PRP when it wasn't a thing. And he had a private doctor that always come to our house and give me B12 shots and things like that. And so before my mission, I actually wanted to be a dermatologist. And he said, I wasn't going to go on a mission. I'm like, I'm not going, not for me. He goes, it's no problem. But if you want your school paid for, you got to go in the military or on a mission. So I looked around, I almost went into the Navy, and I kind of wimped out and I took the mission route. It was fun though. But the goal was to come back and do some sort of wellness center, like the laser facials, the hormone therapy, and all that stuff, right? So he passed away when I was on my mission, came back, and my brother had taken over the whole home building company. And so he's like, hey, you got to get your license. And so I went that route. But it had always been in the back of my mind that I want to do something like that. That's what I enjoy. It's my hobby. And so when I was 26, I actually failed a life insurance test.
Oh, wow.
My testosterone was 130.
Wow.
So they were testing me for a tumor on my pituitary gland. And I'm like, what? You know? Ended up getting referred to Chris, who was my wellness doctor at the time. He did all my hormone therapy. He did all my blood work. And I went in. I was there for like 3 years probably. And back then, you had to go to Sonora Quest at 7 a.m. You had to go to the doctor, pay $225 to see him. Then you had to go to Red Mountain Compounding Pharmacy and pick it up. And it took like 10 days, you know? And so I kept going in there saying, Chris, man, we can streamline this. He's like, I know, one day. So I kept being persistent, you know, 3 years into it. I think I caught him on a bad day.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm ready. Let's do it.
Wow.
And my brother was building the newer buildings over here. And so I said, Chris, I got a spot. And so Darren, my brother, Chris, we got all of us together and said, hey, we'll be your tenant. So we lease it from him. And it was kind of like the perfect start, right?
Yeah.
And then we started getting busier and busier with like the hormone therapy. We made it really easy though. Now you can do a phone consult. We can drop ship the blood work box to your house, and then we literally ship the meds to you, whether it's Mounjaro, semaglutide, testosterone. It's really easy.
That's
so
awesome.
It's a lot less expensive now. It's a lot quicker. And I love it. I love seeing a guy come in that is self-conscious. He's never been able to put on weight, and you find out his levels are out of whack, and he comes back 6 months later looking like a man. Or a guy that's 450 pounds needs to lose 100 pounds for surgery, and then he loses 180 pounds.
Amazing.
And it's really cool. And so over the last, I think that's kind of why I stepped out of the resale stuff, because that's pretty busy over there.
Yeah.
And with the property management, we have our weekly meetings, and but I love it. It's fun.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
So tell us, go back to your testosterone was just low, just one of those random things.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was just low. There was no tumor, thankfully.
Yeah.
I guess I'm just kind of a girl. That's what he ended up telling me. Chris said, "You're just a chick, dude. Don't worry, we'll take care of you."
No, that's very common,
What
as you
are,
know.
yeah. So what are some symptoms that people should look out for? Because I'm hearing that more and more, right?
It's so common now. There was an article I read that every generation, at least this is based on men, every generation your hormones are half and half of what the generation prior was.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So our grandpas were eating good food. They were out on the farm or ranch or whatever doing things, and now we're all behind computers eating
Crap.
packaged Quest bars even or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I pretty much sleeping issues, being overweight, no energy, lots of things. I'm kind of a firm believer that when you're over the age of like 30, everyone has some hormonal imbalance, and it's not that hard to fix. It's a cheap, quick blood test. There's so many creams or, there's so many things you can do, pellet, injections, pills, that I think it's worth everyone knowing their blood work and dialing it in if you want to live longer. It's about longevity, right? It's not about looking like Arnold or being huge. It's about figuring out how to live longer. Yeah. And like a lot of close people to me, they have like no progesterone, and they get migraines. There's all these things that come from it, and it's just such an easy fix. It's a pill, you know?
Well, and that's what I was going to say. It's living longer, but it's also living well.
Yeah.
Like we don't have to live with chronic fatigue and being tired every day or being overweight. There are things that you can do to help so that you can live better for your kids, show up better. Yeah. But it is hard because I think our society, so much of our world is designed around keeping us, like you were saying, sedentary, right? Behind a computer desk, on our phones, like we're not out farming and taking care of the land like we used to be, right? So we have to be really intentional about those things.
Yeah.
Although I wish we were. I'd love to like take care of land.
Yeah. And the food's just so bad now.
Right?
There's no way to get away from it.
100%. I tell my kids that. Like I'm super big on supplements and vitamins, and I have all my kids taking them, and I just see the difference that it makes in them. Even with my oldest, she was having like super bad acne, and the dermatologist put her on this antibiotic, and she was on it, and it like cleared up her acne, but then she started having all these other really bad health issues. And it was like, oh my goodness, what's going on? And long story short, I did like a ton of research and found out it's because she was on this antibiotic she was on it for like 8 months.
Oh, wow.
And it just like destroyed her gut. So then it was like, okay, now we have to like rebuild that. And we had to do it with supplements, and now our skin is like clearing up. It's kind of amazing.
Good.
I wish we would have known sooner.
It's fun to see the results though.
Yeah.
It's so fun to see starting point and ending point and seeing people be happy. And
yeah, because it's changing their life. So tell us, what all do you offer at Nulevel?
So kind of the fun part for me, well, that's all fun. It really is. The group there is so cool. But we do everything wellness. And so hormone therapy, semaglutide, tirzepatide, which is the Mounjaro, or Zepbound.
And what do those do?
They're weight loss injections, and so they're peptides that trigger receptors in your body, and it lowers your glucose, burns sugar in your body, it battles against insulin resistance, takes away your cravings. The big thing though with the Zepbound Mounjaro compound versus the Ozempic Wegovy is the Zepbound Mounjaro one actually is an anti-inflammatory. And so people will see it in their face, they'll see it in their gut. If they have an autoimmune disease, maybe PCOS or Hashimoto's, it helps all that. So,
I was watching, sorry to cut you off. I was watching a interview because one of my friends is doing it, and she was like, it's amazing. But I heard it's also like helping people with heart disease.
It's a big thing for that. Even I heard there's a couple drug and alcohol rehab centers that give people Mounjaro when they're out because it helps with those cravings as well.
Oh, wow.
And so it's unreal. And what the inflammation benefits, 1/3 of America has inflammation issues. And inflammation is like the only common denominator that everyone knows that's linked to like diseases and cancers, things like that. And so I take curcumin, it's hard to say, curcumin. I take it every day. It's just an anti-inflammatory, a natural version of it. But that's what the Mounjaro is doing for people. And usually if they're worried about side effects, it's kind of just explaining, hey, you're 100 pounds overweight. Or do you see yourself being healthier in 10 years on this road or 10 years on the other road? And it's not even the weight loss it's helping with, it's the inflammation benefits and the lower sugar levels. Too much sugar converts to your glucose. Glucose clumps onto all these tumors, and there's just so many benefits that the risks far outweigh.
Yeah, what are the side effects potentially?
With the Mounjaro, 4% of patients in our clinic get nauseous or constipated. Okay. If you're on the right dose. If you're on the high dose, like I took the really high dose on accident when I first got it because I'm like, I'm tough. I can do it.
Yeah.
I was sick for like 2 or 3 days.
Oh, really?
My wife was sick. She was in bed. It was not fun.
Wow.
That was actually Ozempic though. That wasn't the Mounjaro. But typically nausea, constipation, if it gets a little more extreme, vomiting, diarrhea, that's pretty much it.
So like, let's say you want to trim up, but you want to put on muscle at the same time. How is that good for that?
It is. So there's a lot of controversy that there's a lot of muscle waste. And in our clinic, people really don't lose muscle. We are pretty big on, we're not just going to give it to you and peace out, right?
Yeah.
We're going to be there the entire time. So we'll give you a diet plan. We say you need 90 ounces of water a day. You need 90 grams of protein a day. And you need to keep your diet low in carbs. And so we coach them through, explain how to do it. There's no consult fees during the whole process. And so they can call us with any question, concern, but for the most part, if you're you and you take it, I would probably do it with a peptide like CJC 1295. That would increase naturally your HGH levels in your sleep. And so that would help you not only maintain muscle, but build muscle. And together with the Mounjaro would be fun.
Nice.
It'd be great. Yeah. There's a lot of peptides we do. We do skin and laser. We do Botox, filler, IV hydration. We do sound wave, and we just got a body sculpting machine that I am so excited to try.
So what's that do?
I'm going to put that thing on my muffin top and just let it chisel. Yeah, it's going to be cool. So that one you can hook up to your abs, your body. You hook it up anywhere, but it's just
stimulates.
Yeah, if you do it for 30 minutes, it's equivalent to like 20,000 crunches.
What?
Wow. So
is it like cool sculpting? Kind of.
Cool sculpting freezes the fat and burns it. And what this is, it uses RF, radio frequency. And so it's a little bit slower, but it burns it through radio frequencies instead of just zapping it. And with cool sculpting, we looked at that as well. There's like 10% of patients kind of get like abnormal, like unlevelness, right? It's like unlevel if they burn too much in one area. And so we looked at both, and this one was the one we went with. We'll see though. I'm the lab rat, so I'll try it. Yeah, I'm gonna give it a full 6 weeks and dial it in. We'll see.
Do your measurements, take your before and after and all that? That's cool.
Taylor won't be happy about me posting my abs on Instagram, so I'll have to crop my face out.
You gotta do it for the gram.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So you talked about like seeing, because this is what you're doing, your office is doing, is definitely changing people's lives, right? If they're getting healthier, they're showing up better for their family, they're losing weight, they're feeling better, having more confidence. Like, that's amazing. Do you have any examples or stories that you can share with us?
So many. I mean, we've been there, we're on our third year now.
Yeah.
And so we just recently, about a year and a half ago, started telling people, hey, if you lose weight, we want a review. And so I think we're at like 760 reviews now. Wow. But I mean, a guy that I work with at Newport Homes, he was 486 pounds and he needed to have surgery. Couldn't walk. He needed to have surgery on his leg and his hip. And so we put him on the semaglutide, not even the Mounjaro, which the Mounjaro has better results. But on bed rest, he lost 90 pounds.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. He was type 2 diabetic. And so it literally, just seeing him, like, oh my gosh, I can see it in your neck. I can see it in your face, your shoulders, like, good for you. But I mean, me as well. I was I still am scrawny, but I got home off my mission. I was 154 pounds.
Oh, wow.
And like today I'm 190. So it changed my life.
Yeah. Energy
levels, everything.
This is like, I feel like a really popular thing right now. What are they called? The, not weight loss drugs. I mean, that's what they are, but like, isn't it like a GLP or what is it?
GLP-1.
There we go.
Yeah.
What is that?
It's a receptor in the body. So what Ozempic and Wegovy do is it triggers your GLP-1 receptor. And that's what makes the cravings go away. That's what helps with it makes your pancreas more efficient, which also helps your insulin levels, insulin resistance, lowers your A1C, your sugar. But what the Mounjaro does, it hits your GLP-1 and your GIP. So it hits 2 receptors. So better results, less side effects. That's the one that I do it for 4 weeks before spring break and 4 weeks before October break, because we're in Newport both those times. And so I just do a quick little 4 weeks. Yeah, that's what I do.
So you don't have to be on it forever.
No, not at all.
You can do it, get the weight off, and then...
You can be on it forever. It was intended for long-term use. It's for type 2 diabetics. And so it was an alternative to, I mean, I don't want to say alternative to insulin, but it kind of is. It helps with all that, right? So you can be on it forever. But for me, it's always been the less is more. You know, when I take testosterone, I'm trying to lower it each week, and I'll do these. I did 75 hard, and I actually cut it in half. And during 75 hard, it was really hard.
I know it is.
It was tough. Yeah. But I did it with a buddy at the med spa. We did our blood work before and after. We cut our testosterone from 1 ml a week down to 0.5. And we did cold plunge and sauna every day and ate healthy. And my levels went even higher than they've ever been. They went too high. Yeah. They went to 1300. Wow. And I'm like, what? And so
that's amazing.
It is. It's cool what you can do with the body. And the
just by exercising and eating right?
Yeah. I did all meat and all fruit.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So you were carnivorous.
Yeah.
Carnivorous with some fruit.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was... I tried the carnivore. It was tough because I can't just be snacking on a steak on the road.
Yeah.
You know?
I did it for 30 days, legit. That's all I had. And I felt good and I lost some, but I felt strong, which was awesome, but it was kind of tough.
It was.
Like just not having anything else.
People come into town and they want to hang out and I'm like, oh, I feel so bad.
Yeah.
I'm just drinking my water,
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
Right.
But it was fun. I'll do it again. And then I tried that Dana White fast. Have you guys seen
Yes.
what do you do? 86 hours or 81 hours?
I don't know.
Full on water fast.
Yeah.
For 80, I did 71 hours and I ended it because we were at Nando's and I wanted to break my fast with Nando's.
Did you make yourself sick though?
No, I felt great.
Really? So,
nuts.
no, I mean when you ate. When you ended it. Okay.
I ate a big bowl of food. I thought my stomach would be all
Shrunk?
small.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I think I ate my meal and Taylor's meal.
So I've heard, you know, I follow a lot of these people on Instagram that have all kinds of cool stuff like this, just, you know, trying to find ways to improve, right? And they say if you do one fast a year, that's 3 days or more, that drastically cuts your chances in half or more from getting cancer.
I've heard that a lot. Yeah. I'm going to try and start doing it every 6 months.
Yeah.
A 3 day? Or
Yeah.
Just water.
One of my buddies in the gym started it. I'm like, what are you doing? You're supposed to wait for me. But
we should make that like a team challenge.
Yeah. But it still worked out too, huh?
yeah, it's not hard. So for me, I get snappy if I don't eat by like 11 o'clock every day.
Yeah.
But once you get through that snappiness and the tiredness,
Which is what? That fog is about day 2?
yeah, day 1 for me was once I woke up in the morning, it was easy. And I could have gone longer.
Did you feel really good?
I felt great.
I've heard that. I heard once you get past that, it's just like you have tons of energy. But see, they also say like in nature, when animals are injured, they stop eating.
Really?
Because there's something to the fast that allows their body to heal faster.
Interesting.
So
Wow.
there's something to
It
it.
makes sense. I mean, yeah, it turns your body into survival mode.
Yeah.
Kind of like cold plunging, that shock, you know?
You
it
have
just-
cold shock and warm shock proteins
So-
that release.
How long can you cold plunge for and at what temperature?
So I'm not too extreme. Mine's always frozen. So I just have a regular ice chest in my garage and I turn it on at night and I wake up and I break it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh gosh.
And
That's cold.
I dip in for like a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's not so much for the benefits physically as it is mentally.
Oh, for
It's
sure.
my first
Just
win
the
of the
discipline?
day.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
I feel like that's kind of the same with fasting though too. I feel like for me it's like a mental thing of like I can do this, right? I can do hard things. I don't think I told you this. We went to the Augment Spa. Have you
Heard of
been
it?
there with the They do like compression, cold plunge, sauna. They have red light therapy. They have a bunch of hyperbaric chamber thing.
Cool.
Anyways, and they have you go out like cold plunge, hot tub, cold plunge, hot tub. You do it 3 times.
Wow.
And I got up to 40 seconds.
Good for you.
You
In the cold
sting.
plunge.
You sting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then she said if you can do it past a minute, it's actually gets a lot easier.
Yeah.
Ray did it like a minute and 10 seconds, but I was freaking out. The first time I went in, I literally was freaking out.
Yeah, you have to like box breathe. Like it's
yeah.
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you do that?
No, I mean, somewhat. I just do long, the kind of like
Yeah,
Wim
just-
Hof, you know.
Yeah.
My buddy, the same buddy that got me into cold plunging, got me into the whole breathing thing, and it's
Is it like Gary Brecka?
yeah,
Yes.
And I actually have done it a lot. I don't know if I just don't get to it or what, but it's kind of like the end of it. But when I do it, I actually feel better. It's fun.
Well, Gary Brecka says you put 7 years in your life by breathing, doing the breathing drills every day, because essentially every disease comes from the lack of oxygen in the cells.
Wow.
And if you are oxygenating your body like that deliberately every day, it just makes you feel better, but it also makes you so much stronger too.
I love
and
that stuff.
and muscle tone. Muscle is what helps you fight disease, which is crazy.
He's
So,
lean.
Yeah.
He's a lean dude. There was another one I was reading. Have you heard of obviously you have the hyperbaric chamber. So there was a lady with stage 4 cancer. She started doing the hyperbaric chamber, and what the whole article said was basically there wasn't a sign of it after a certain amount of treatment she
amazing.
did. And I've done that a couple times with one of Chris's buddies has a kind of like a same type of med spa, but it's not so, there's no cold plunge in there. It's more so chiropractic with all that stuff. And so we went there and tried it out, and we looked at getting one for our clinic here, but that's the whole oxygen thing. It's just supposed to be amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. Super good for you. Okay, well, can we switch gears a little bit and talk about just being a business owner
Yes.
and starting a new business? Like, how did you do that? What does that look like?
You just got to swing for the fences. I've had a lot. I was just telling this to someone else. So when I left DR Horton, when I got home off my mission, I started up a company that was document storage, digital storage, like attorneys that just have storage facilities of boxes and paper, putting onto hard drives for them, and did awful. That didn't work out. And then went and sold new homes. That was fun. When I left DR, I started up a credit repair company because DR Horton did a good job of teaching me all the credit side, right? And I was charging $10 a month, and I'm like, if I can get 1,000 people, we're good, you know?
Yeah.
And I remember spending 35 minutes on the phone with somebody, and I'm like, that person's paying me $10 for the month.
Yeah.
So I got out of that really quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I tried the whole new home thing with Denver's List back in the day. It's kind of like Angie's List, but for new homes. It's kind of funny. I've tried a bunch of things. And so when I did the med spa, for me, I had the same mentality. And with Balboa, it was, I got to try it, you know? And Balboa was lucky because we had the new home sales. And then we started doing the property management, and I had a good property manager I teamed up with. But I always would have eaten at me if I didn't try it, the whole wellness thing.
Yeah.
For sure.
And so luckily I partnered with Chris. He's a stud. He knows everything there is to know about it. He's been doing it for 20 years. We have
And he's the doctor.
Yeah, he's a PA. But our doctor is really good family friend to him, really good guy. He's the guy that overlooks it. He's a DO.
I love DOs.
Urology. He's a surgeon.
Yeah.
And so I think the biggest thing is just kind of throwing yourself into it and learning, because the trial and errors we had the first year, I mean, we were on the shopping carts at Fry's, did nothing for us. We were on the radio, did nothing for us. We still do Facebook, but it's just been different with
Word of mouth?
everything. What's that?
Is it word of mouth that's helping you grow most?
It's funny. Yeah. We had 20 consults yesterday for the weight loss stuff, and 18 of them were referrals.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I'm like, why
Yeah.
are we even spending money on Facebook?
Because they're walking billboards.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone loses 40 pounds. And
Do you give them swag too, like your shirt?
we need to do
You
more.
should.
I give out a lot to friends and stuff.
Yeah.
And I only have 30 of all I wear are these $4 shirts.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if I'm on vacation or here.
Same here. You got a brand.
Yeah.
Every day.
And they're so comfy.
Like
you
my
know?
wife gets so
Us,
tired
you
of it.
guys are so lucky though. Us ladies, it's not the same.
Yeah.
Just this morning, my wife's like, "Well, you got your uniform on."
Yeah.
You're all, yes, I
You
do.
bet.
Yep. Well,
Yes, I
I'm
do.
super fascinated with the med spa thing because as a dude, when I hear spa, I'm thinking facials. And that's not for me, right? But there's so much more to it. And what really triggered me was we have a friend that's moving to Tennessee because he's going to start up 5 of them.
Really?
So I'm thinking, holy cow, what a business model this must be.
Yeah,
But
it's pretty. I mean, like I said, there's a lot of learning curves. Like the skin and laser side, the machines are really expensive.
Yeah.
They're double my mortgage payment just for that machine.
Wow.
And we had 2 machines at one point. The hydrofacial wasn't that expensive, but it was still a payment for 12 months. And so, but the biggest thing for me was I was kind of the guarantor on it. Like I did the 5-year lease with the building. I did the lease with the machines. So I really did swing for the fences, you know, and there's things that if we did it again, we opened up another one. Actually, we have one on, Williamsfield and Val Vista over there by Desert Sky Dermatology.
Yeah.
It's called Ideal Body. That one is just hormones and weight loss.
Okay.
So we were trying to fuse in like the sort of urgent care telemed aspect to it.
Oh, interesting.
But we did it better there than we did when we started here because we knew where we lost all the money, what didn't work. But it's like that. It was like that with Balboa too. At one point we were doing all the Boomtown leads and we were doing the realtor.com leads, everything. And you kind of figure out where to get the leads.
For sure.
It just takes time. Balboa took me like 6 years to figure out where the leads are naturally. And this place took me like a year. So, I think,
cool.
But it's a team effort too. Our group, all the girls are awesome.
That's awesome.
Ones in the back are all happy, smart, funny. The injectors we have, the estheticians we have, they really are the best.
I love that.
And so I think that's a big part of it. People come in and
for sure,
everyone's fun.
Your
For
culture
sure.
is good.
Oh, that's huge.
And it's not like a laser mill where you go in
Right.
and room 3, you know,
Right.
and our office is beautiful and it's just a cool
So important.
place. Yeah.
Okay, Denver, are there any specials or anything that our listeners need to know about?
Free weight loss consult.
Okay.
We always do a free weight loss consult.
Okay.
And then we ship the meds, the weight loss injections or hormones to your door.
Are these
overnight.
the actual medicine or is it a compound?
Compound. So that's a good question. So as far as compound and the actual brand name, I always explain to people because they're worried. It's like Tylenol has acetaminophen in it, but if you get the Walmart brand, it has acetaminophen as well. It's just called acetaminophen or something else. So all of the tirzepatide powder that Eli Lilly, the owner of Mounjaro, all of it's produced from the same manufacturer, but Eli Lilly has the patent on it. And so what these compound pharmacies do is when the shortage happened, they were allowed to sell them. They have to mix something into it like B12 or glycine or L-carnitine to not infringe on the patent. So it's virtually the same thing. In my opinion, for weight loss, it's better. Yeah. Because the glycine protects your muscle. The B12 gives you energy and it supports additional weight loss. It's good for your mood, your metabolism. So it really is better. And we still write scripts and send them to Walgreens for people that want the brand name. They're paying $1,500 for the brand name and we get it for $350.
Wow.
And so it's very inexpensive. And the pharmacy we use, Strive, is the best pharmacy. So that's another big thing. All the controversy you hear about these, a lot of it is tied to semaglutide, not the Mounjaro compound, because there's never been like a salt-based Mounjaro, only with the semaglutide. But we use a pharmacy that tests their batch every week. And so we just found out there's one in Florida that went 2 years, the big one too, 2 years without doing its regulatory batching or test batching.
Wow.
Okay.
And so I'm a believer that the compound's actually better for weight loss.
Okay.
Maybe not necessarily for type 2 diabetes, but for weight loss, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's what the majority are taking it for, right?
Yeah, we offer both, but one, we just charge a script fee, send it off.
Sure.
The other one, it's kind of bundled into the price at $350. So yeah, free weight loss consult, free hormone consult. We could do, for your listeners, we can do anything you guys want. If you want discounts, we can do half off a laser package. We can do Botox, $9.99 a unit.
Nice.
Whatever you guys want.
Let's go.
That's awesome.
So mention the real deal and get a hookup.
Yeah, the home selling
Love
team,
it.
the real deal. Do it.
I've also sent my daughter, and Ray's also gone for an IV with you guys. So yeah, I love a good
Thank you.
IV, hydration IV. Awesome. Well, we like to end Denver with a little speed round. Are you up for it?
Let's do it.
Ready? It's kind of rapid fire.
Hot seat.
favorite color?
Blue.
Favorite food?
Mexican food.
Favorite drink?
Margarita.
Favorite sound? A margarita? That
Yeah.
surprises me. Okay. Favorite sound?
Morgan Wallen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Favorite book?
Think and Grow Rich.
Oh, love
Nice.
it.
That's good.
It's such a
working
good
for you.
one.
It's a good one. I still have my little goals on my window
I
or on my
love
mirror every
it.
morning. Yeah.
See, sorry, I'm going to pause the speed round really quick.
Do it.
I think our kids need to read these books like as soon as possible and get
are.
those like foundational life skills so that they can go out and live their best life.
So important.
We've talked about this in a couple other ones, but right now, so we just read the Slight Edge. Braden's reading that for
I love it.
$25.
I love
what
it.
I'm paying
Yes.
he's done.
Nice.
Have
So,
you read The
yeah.
Slight Edge?
No,
You
I
got to
didn't
read
read
it.
it.
You'll love it.
Slight Edge.
Yes, you'll love
Okay.
it. The Slight Edge.
Yes.
Jeff Wilson.
It's a very good
Okay.
one. Okay, we're back in the speed round.
Okay.
All right.
yeah.
Favorite podcast?
This one.
Oh, shout out. Okay, last but not least, favorite vacation?
Newport.
Is it?
Yeah. Been there a million times and it'd be there. Yeah, it's there for sure.
Okay.
Food's the best. Family's there.
I
It's
know.
close.
I know.
Yeah.
I have some friends that grew up there, and they're like, "Well, we need to leave town when all the Arizona people come."
Right,
Yeah,
right.
I know. That's the one issue with it is you'll be going down the boardwalk and
for
you
sure.
pass
Everybody you
everyone
know.
from
Every time.
Mesa.
Yes.
You know,
Everyone,
it's so
every
funny.
time.
So you
Our-
better be in shape, buddy.
You got to. I'm already got my spray tan going. Got my Manjaro. I'm dialed in. Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, thanks for being with us.
Yeah.
This was so fun.
It
We
was.
appreciate it. And yeah, go check out Nulevel and mention The Real Deal. Get a hookup.
Thank you guys. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Denver.
Thanks for listening to The Real Deal, where real estate meets real life. Make sure to follow or subscribe to the home selling team on YouTube, Instagram, and Spotify to stay up to date with our podcast.